Welcome to Game of Roses. This is PaceCase.
This is BachelorClues, and I'm still trying to put myself together after that Love is Blind Season 9 reunion. I don't know what it was exactly.
It took things from me.
Yeah, it gave things to me. It took those things away, and then it took more things from me. You know,
and then it played basketball to see who should get the things in the end.
Well, Chris Paul, wherever you are, please explain to me how that happened. I will say this. Love is Blind Season 9 to me was like a bad season of football or baseball or basketball where all the teams that wind up making the playoffs are just kind of like mid-range shit teams that nobody's really a fan of. And then you get to the finals and you're like, I don't care who wins this. What are we doing? Can we just start next season?
Don't they
already?
all have fans?
Of course. But I mean, you know, there are like big teams that like carry more fandom in
like
big markets.
Big markets.
Yeah, like New York teams.
You don't like when the little market teams do well.
No, I don't mind it. If they're interesting teams, if they have like interesting players or there's interesting stories around how they got to this and was it a big rebuilding year? Do they have some superstar rookie who's carrying the whole back on their team? Whatever. There's a million kind of narratives that can make that type of thing interesting. But every once in a while in all major sports, you just get one of these years where it's just kind of like, who's on this team again? Why are they in the World Series? Oh, because all the other teams suck this year. Like that's kind of... Sometimes it happens like that. It's not like that this year. Like this year in baseball, the World Series is like one of the most exciting World Series maybe in the history of baseball with the Dodgers and the Toronto Blue Jays. We're recording this on Thursday, October 30th. I don't know when you're going to hear it. The World Series may be over by the time you hear it. Please, Dodgers, win it. Please.
Do it for clues.
Yeah. I'm just saying this season of Love is Blind was like that to me. I didn't give a shit about any of the teams in the playoffs. I didn't give a shit about any of the teams in the finals. I wanted them all to lose. Unfortunately, in sports, you can't have that, but you can in Love is Blind.
Everyone lost this season. It's funny because, like, I feel like Minneapolis didn't get well received either.
Yeah,
that season for being boring,
right?
I think, but you at least had a couple emerge.
Yeah. And they're both in the 500K category on Instagram. So
good for them.
It proves
two people got jobs.
Exactly. Even if you're kind of boring, even if you're not what people want to see on their TV screens, if you get married on Love is Blind, proof positive, you can still get a significant number. You can turn that into an influencing career. You can at least make a little carrying money, little pocket money.
Just get married. What are we doing?
Totally.
What is the sanctity of marriage thing that is going on?
Yeah. If Love is Blind is an experiment, season 9 failed the experiment. Should the experiment be scuttled?
Love is not blind at all.
No, it is not. I've seen a bunch of people online. There's kind of a big sentiment that the show should now be canceled.
Cancel the show? No. Never.
I've seen cries for that. No, that will never happen. I don't agree with that sentiment. I'm simply reporting what I see on the internet.
It already has too many iterations. It can't be stopped.
I know. They've got two. I think, no. One season is shot now. One season's in the can, essentially ready for publication. And I believe they're shooting the next ones very soon. But they shoot 2 at a time and then piggyback the airing so that you have what you had in this finale, which we're going to get to in our top 10 takeaways from Love is Blind Season 9. We're going to go through everything we thought was important this season. Then we're going to give our season-ending awards. What was a play of the season, the error of the season, creature of the season, Jorge Moreno bystander of the season. What am I missing? MVP of the season.
I see what you did there.
Jesus.
Sorry, this is something that Dark Lord Nick Lachey kept saying to Dark Lord Vanessa Lachey in the reunion.
Good work if you can get it. If you can get away with just doing a couple of like overhand palm presses, some double underhand claw scoops, and just saying, I see what you did there. If you can turn that into a job where you get paid millions of dollars,
I know.
You're doing something right.
I really do feel like she is carrying the weight. And it's surprising
100%.
to me that they picked him for perfect match as opposed to her, because she is carrying
100%.
all of the conversations.
He's doing some kind of cool guy bullshit that's like, hey guys, I'm just here and I got dad energy and
I got gestures.
I got some hands. I'm putting them here and I'm doing this. Sometimes I do the 180. See what you
Whatever
did there.
the wife thinks. Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, exactly. You guys are talking about sex? I wish I knew what that was. He does like the classic kind of 80s put upon husband, you know. I wouldn't be surprised if he pulls out a Tim Allen home improvement grunt next season. That man made
look forward to that
career. That man made tens of millions of dollars from grunting. Tim Allen.
Are you? Oh, I thought you were saying that was Nick singing.
No.
I am very curious about how they choose which cities to go to. I realize they've already done Houston and Dallas.
I know.
2 in Texas without LA or New York.
Yeah.
Give us a big market.
Texas still has
What are you
Austin,
doing?
San Antonio. You know what would be a wild one in Texas? Where I grew up. Amarillo.
Why would that be wild?
From what I remember, Amarillo it's not like a big city, but it's not a small town. It's kind of like right in the middle. So you get all of the worst parts of being in a big city and none of the good things. It's just like this weird. Amarillo's a weird place. I think it would be.
I feel like
interesting.
you can't go that small because then everyone's slept with each other already. They found that on Love Is Blind Paris. I mean, France, actually.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Lots of
do you think they're
connections.
going to double dip? Are they going to have to hit another city they've already done before they start getting into these small tier markets?
They haven't even gone to the big tiers.
I know.
I guess Chicago and Dallas and Houston.
But those ain't 1 and 2. They still have not done a show
Go
in
to
1 and
2.
Yeah,
They haven't done the Bay.
that's true. The Bay is kind of, I mean, I guess it is different than Portland, but that Pacific Northwest-y, I consider the Bay Area to be part of that.
They already were merging Seattle and Portland in that one.
Yeah.
Go to the big 2. What are we doing?
I don't know. We'll see.
Look at what Denver got you. I also saw that Denver apparently did one of the worst in Married at First Sight as well.
Interesting.
What is going on?
Everybody's just high and like out in nature, just chilling with their lives. It's hard to build the drama. Or
Yeah, maybe they just can't cast them.
apparently in this season 2, it was like there wasn't a lot of drama and there wasn't a lot of like deep feelings of love. Maybe the people in Denver are just like emotionally right down the middle. They don't love hard and they don't get mad. And that makes for a bad Love Is Blind. Okay.
I think it's probably not a good sample to represent a city, the people that are cast on the city's Love Is Blind.
Before we get into our top 10, and I know we're now almost 10 minutes into this program, but before we get into it, that is really something, I mean, that's not on this list, but we should discuss it. It's the casting of these shows.
Yeah.
And you start to run into a problem with any reality show, especially one that is predicated on the idea that this is not about fame, which all the love shows are. The lies that they have to tell you in every love show is this has nothing to do with fame. And in fact, if you bring that up as an idea, which we just saw Nicole do on Golden Bachelor season 2 and get wrecked for it, you are for the wrong reasons. And therefore antithetical to what we are trying to do here, which is a very for the right reasons, in quotes, experiment to help these people find their soulmate. So at a certain point, and I would even argue with Love Is Blind, it was season 1, like it happened immediately. You saw Lauren Speed and Cameron Hamilton come out of that season with like 1 point whatever million YouTube followers. They were giant influencers instantaneously. That show was huge, blah, blah, blah. So already the idea that you can come into this to get famous it's there from season 1. And so then you start to have a harder time discerning who is coming on your show for that and who is coming on your show for love. Now, you do need an A couple. You do need a couple that is believably falling in love and believably married to anchor your season around. However, all the other players can be for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
They're only for fame. And I think at least for me, and I think for a large percentage of the audience of all these shows, we get it. They all want to be influencers. We understand that.
Casey said it. She said her TikTok lover told her to go on one of the shows.
Yeah. And you look at like Love Island and stuff where now, at least in the past 2 US seasons, you have multiple players walking out of there in the 5 million TikTok follower range. That is an insane amount of influencer money. That is your job for the next 5 years, and you're going to do very well for yourself. We all see that. Taylor Frankie Paul is cast as the Bachelorette. She's coming into the game with 5.7 million TikTok followers. So it's
her
like
job.
That, to me, the casting problem, I think, I am not a casting director on any of these shows, but I believe that the problem comes from them thinking we cannot cast influencers or people who are interested in that because we need real love matches. So they shave off kind of like the top tier players who are all there for fame. At least, or they're open to it, you know, maybe they'll fall in love, whatever. It's an adventure, blah, blah, blah. But they are going to try and generate Instagram followers. You get rid of all those players and then you're left with what's right underneath, which is either people who are not interested in that. And that's how you get these self-eliminations where people are like, wait a minute, what the fuck am I in here for? Bye, this sucks. They don't care about staying in the show any longer because they're like, this is terrible. And the kind of like wannabe influencers who don't really have the juice to carry an Instagram following or TikTok following, like, no offense, like Nick of this season of Love is Blind. And then like we're forced to watch these people who can't do like what Huda can do, you know?
It feels like there's so many players like that where it's like, oh, okay, I got a little taste of it. I want to do it, but they're cast for being whatever, engineers. I mean, and that's what you're doing by saying no LA, no New York.
100%.
You're getting rid of your top talent.
Yeah. Like in my mind, you do LA and you almost make it mandatory. Nobody's on the show with less than 100,000 Instagram followers.
Yeah, then none of them can accuse each other of 4TWR.
Exactly. Make them all like influencing is a job. And that's something that I think these shows don't quite accept, at least on a formal level.
Yeah.
And I think even in Taylor Frankie Paul's Bachelorette season, you're going to see some shit to that end while she is literally standing there making TikToks, you know?
I mean, you see it in Slamwa. They're like, this girl's not here for the right reason. Yeah. She just wants the clout. And it's like, but the show is called Clout.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
For real. Yeah. There's got to be a change in this coming. You can kind of feel it building. I always say this, but it feels like pro wrestling in the 80s when it was like, okay, they admit that it's scripted, you know, and you're still going to love it because they can do like wilder, crazier shit. I think when you unleash the influencers basically in reality TV, when you say like, it's the same thing, we get that now. And we're not trying to promote this antiquated lie that this is just about love. Nobody here cares about fame. If you can kind of get rid of that, you make a more honest reality show.
I mean, you're filming it with cameras and you're putting it on TV. It's been 4TWR since season 1 of The Bachelor. Like, it's so frustrating. I would do LA or New York. I would maybe get a couple that's already together. Yeah. Script them.
Might as well.
Love.
Might as well. I would argue it's been 4TWR since 1947 Candid Camera. There's a very famous audio recording of a woman that they pull a prank on. And she's like, I can't believe you do this to me. And no, this is very bad. And they're like, but do you want to be on the show? And she goes, well, yes, of course. It's always been in it. You know what I mean? That idea of, we may be manipulating you into whatever situation we're putting you in, but we also will potentially make you famous. And is that fame valuable enough for you that you will subject yourself to this? And the answer is yes, even back in 1947.
Or do a blurred face strategy. Be like, I'll go on your show. You have to blur my face.
Yeah. I don't have an Instagram. I'm not here.
Well, let's get into our top 10 moments, takeaways from this season and our season-long awards. Number 10, fresh off the presses, the worst reunion in Love is Blind history. We had a very strange opening number with Miles Smith, the musician, in which all of the contestants slowly came down the stairs in their formal wear to nowhere.
Yeah.
And then they do disappeared. A time jump to where there's a bunch of couches where Miles Smith was standing, and all the players are now seated.
Absolutely bizarre.
Why?
I don't know. So they shot Miles Smith doing his performance. Then they intercut it with the players coming down these dislocated staircases. I have geographically no idea what is going on, who is standing where, but you're watching it and you're like, but the whole cast is going to be sitting where Miles Smith is playing. Certainly that's the center of the stage. So where are they going? And then they just cut to all of them sitting there after the performance ends, and you're like, what the fuck? And they've got weird audio cues coming in from the Dark Lords. Oh, welcome, Nick. Yay. And they all clap. Nope. But Miles Smith is still on stage. So that's all done later in post. So the tone of the reunion starts off in this weird, discombobulated, confused idea of what any of this is or where anyone is.
In the astral plane.
And like, why? I don't know that we've ever seen a musical act like this open a reunion, have we?
Look, not that I can remember. I didn't look it up. I meant to. Sound off in the comments. It makes me think that they got the musical act, and then they were like, wait, this is just 3 minutes of a guy we don't know performing. Okay, let's intercut it with the intros so that it'll give some sort of a...
Yeah.
Like, look, I love the pomp and circumstance of a reunion.
Of course.
I love that the housewives have kind of elevated it to this Met Gala-esque outfits, and like you can have your big intros or whatever, but this did not work for me. It was very strange. I hate when I'm forced to watch a musical performance in something that I'm not expecting it. I remember they would always do this in the OC, where they would just have bands perform, and I'm like, I want the OC. I don't want a band performing.
Yeah. I don't mind it if it's like somehow integrated into the show properly. This was just weird. And it sets a tone for the entire reunion that is like, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. This is going to be a disaster. That's what I went into the reunion feeling. And guess what? They didn't disappoint. We also saw in this reunion, Megan Sparkle reveal that she has a child with another guy named Paul, not with Jordan. This was information that was already all over the internet. So no new information was being broken here. They then forced all of the players to react like they didn't know. Oh my God, so surprised. Fine, maybe some of them didn't. Beyond that, the Dark Lords themselves acted surprised and then said, and now let's go out into the audience to say hello to her baby's daddy. And here's some pictures of her little baby. So they literally were acting like they were surprised by this and didn't know this information.
Yes.
Yet they have rehearsed all of this, including throwing to the baby daddy and throwing to pictures of the baby on TV screens for the audience. They are lying straight to our faces.
Megan Sparkle having a baby off camera 3 months after she met this man, Paul, was my play of the season.
Sure.
You know, not a lot happened that with the relationships, clearly. So she went to the civilians and she said, "You're up. I need a big moment for the reunion. Give me a baby." I'm pretty sure that's how it happened. And,
but it was like undercut because we all already knew this.
I mean, I don't know how online we are with regards to that. I think there's probably plenty of people watching who didn't know. I was still skeptical going in. I was like, is that guy really the baby daddy? I don't know.
What?
Well, look, there were some people saying, oh, that's her friend. Like,
okay. I didn't realize that.
I represent the gullible, probably the majority of the audience. And sometimes that shocks clues.
Yeah. You're like, here's a picture of them holding up the sonogram. That may just be a friend.
Look, our country's where it's at for a reason.
Misinformation.
And Paul, the baby daddy who came into the studio for the reunion, was my Jorge Moreno, bystander of the season. Great way to get on the show when you're not cast.
No, I agree. He did a good job. However, I was into another Paul. Chris Paul was my Jorge Moreno bystander of the season. This was another piece of the reunion. At a certain point, we get this whole thing laid out between Patrick and Casey, and why didn't you give me back the ring? Here, I brought it with me. I'll give it back to you right now. Patrick takes the ring from her. Then inexplicably, Dark Lord Nick Lachey throws to the audience where we see LA Clippers star Chris Paul sitting there inexplicably. He's a fan of the show, I guess. They then wheel out a portable basketball hoop and force Patrick and Casey to do a free throw contest for ownership of the ring. And it is
that they've just settled.
And they've just settled already. She gave him the ring. He has it. Now Chris Paul demands that for his pleasure and for the pleasure of the entire Love is Blind audience, they must now do a free throw contest to determine the true ownership of the ring. She wins it, and he has to give it back after making some jokes about giving it back to her in Denver. Then Chris Paul does a little hug with Dark Lord Nick Lachey and dissipates into the night.
Mm-hmm.
I am at a loss for words as to how to even think about understanding how this happened, why this happened, whose idea was it. I literally don't know where to begin the theoretical investigation in my mind of how this came to be.
Bad.
It made no sense.
They're not your A couple even. They're not even your stars of the show, Patrick and Casey. Like, oh yeah, everyone remembers when they played basketball against each other in the pods. Huh?
They didn't even show us that footage in the actual show, I don't think.
Oh, really?
To my knowledge, that was not in the show.
I
could be wrong on that, but I don't
have no
remember
idea.
seeing
It doesn't matter. It was the worst part of this reunion. Yeah. It made no sense. It takes you completely out of the emotional stakes of anything.
Just a weird record scratch. You're like, oh, they're fighting about the ring. Oh, this guy, he got the ring back. Great. And now do a free throw contest with an NBA player to see who determines the actual ownership of the ring. What? Why?
It's like, and it's stakesless. It's like Ali establishes that Netflix gives them the rings.
Yes.
No one has paid money for this ring. I don't think there's like the audience feeling that either one of them has the moral obligation to own the ring.
Plus, what's the crossover between Love is Blind audience and Chris Paul? I don't get it.
I mean, I didn't know who he was.
I rest my case, Your Honor. It just is it's more evidence that the producers of this show don't know what they're doing. And I think this is something that kind of goes along with like casting getting harder season after season because you have more and more influencers and blah, blah, blah. You think you have to cast however you want to cast. I think there's another piece that goes along with that is the producers. After some of these producers have probably been on it since season one, similar things have happened in Bachelor where they get into this kind of rote pattern of like, well, whatever, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just churn these things out. Yeah. Don't think about making it better. And every once in a while, somebody gets a weird idea. It's like, what if we put Chris Paul shooting free throws in here? And they're like, yeah, we haven't done that. Let's do it. And you're just like, but why? Nobody's sitting there being like, how does this make the show better? And then nobody's saying it doesn't. So it gets done. And now we're watching Chris Paul shooting free throws for a diamond engagement ring that costs $500. It is wild. So bizarre. What else do we have? We saw Madison trying to get angry at the reunion. She was about the only person kind of trying to bring anything here because they shoot this a year and a half after the events of the show that you have just watched. Another horrible production decision. We had some pool party confusion about there was some pool party, I guess, that we never got to see where Patrick might have been there and Casey might have been there and Brennan might have been there and they all might have been dating each other or not and nobody knows anything. And then there was a moment where Casey and Patrick were basically saying like, you were at the pool party. And Patrick's like, no, I wasn't. One of them is lying. And Dark Lord Nick Lachey is just like, anyways, let's move on. Just terrible hosting.
Anyways.
Don't investigate that. One of these two people's lying.
Happy life.
Yeah.
We also got a notable absence, which is zero addressing of substance abuse, which was a huge theme in this season, or the homophobia conversation between Nick and Annie.
Yeah. Standard.
So kind of a smorgasbord.
Standard rug sweeping
reunion.
technique. Bachelor does that very well as well.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Number 9. The number 9 most important takeaway from the season was the fool edits. It seemed like this season, they were not, they being the producers, were not supportive of any of the players. All the edits were at the expense of all the players, making all of them look as bad as they possibly could. We saw with Nick the size queen comments, and I would even say the homophobic conversation that he had with Annie.
Yeah.
That's like, I know they said it and it's on camera, but if you're producers and you want us to like those people, you don't include that footage in the cut. They did.
No.
They did it to make them look bad.
And Annie says they chopped up the part about the fad thing, that line was about something else.
Yes,
so it's
exactly.
like they even juiced the homophobia conversation.
Yeah, made it look worse than it even was. And we also saw the Joe, saying, well, we'll get to a very specific thing that he said, but this edit of kind of like being a man child and getting too drunk. We saw the Anton edit where the friend with the girlfriend that he barely knew, and they're not even together, I assure you. He was so quick to throw that girlfriend under the bus. Jesus, like that invalidates her as a human being.
Yes.
Look, my friend is not dating her anymore. Therefore, everything she said was a lie. They also cut him eating those croissants, just like, do you want another one, honey? Good croissant. They cut him to be as bad as they could. I would even argue, despite Edmund,
the flip flops at the end.
Oh God, the final thing of the reunion was a joke at his fucking expense about wearing flip flops,
his shoes,
and this is a problem too. And this has happened in Bachelor. I mean, how much time we got? 30 more minutes? Good.
Not much.
Right. I just want to take us back to 2014 in the Bachelor franchise, a little season called Bachelor Season 18. That was Juan Pablo Galavis, the first villain Bachelor. That's when those Bachelor producers got that taste of blood in the mouth. And they said, we're going to fuck every Bachelor from here on out. We will kick our leads in the balls. We will make them look stupid. Chris Soules, Prince Farmington. Look at this fucking idiot who lives in the middle of nowhere.
Look at his horrible town.
We're going to put him on a date with arguably one of the funniest players who's ever played in Caitlin Bristow and a literal professional late night TV show host, comedian Jimmy Kimmel, just to make him look like shit. Nick Viall was a villain Bachelor, technically. Ben Higgins, he's unlovable. How did it go from Brad Womack, the sexiest man in the world, to Ben Higgins is unlovable? You see what I'm saying?
I would argue Jake Pavelka is a half step towards it with that.
That's true. And then Jake Pavelka's like, let's just find a fucking straight asshole, a real piece of shit, a fucking guy everyone could get on board hating. Anyways, I'm just saying that there's a certain thing that happens in the producer tier of all these shows where it goes from the producers having fun and like, oh my God, we have the biggest show on Netflix, this is incredible, to having open contempt for all of the people on the show. I don't know why this happens, but it seems to happen in virtually every one of these dating reality franchises. And we're in it now in Love is Blind. The edit that they gave all these poor fuckers this season was just like, they hate all of them. And it comes through when they're playing like Calliope music over them and shit. And they're having Nick be like, I'm a real size queen. That was funny. Don't get me wrong, but Jesus Christ. Do you want us to like these people or not?
I mean, they didn't have a single couple that they protected.
Yeah.
Like even Megan and Jordan, who are arguably the closest thing to an A couple this season. They were making fun of how Megan loved money and house numbers, and Jordan with the chicken smoothie, etc.
Yeah. It is no experiment.
Yeah, I think it's part of the influencer thing, is the reason that this happens. They end up seeing how much money these people are making, and they're like, these pieces of shit are making this much money. I should be making this much money.
No, totally.
That's my guess.
And I'm like, the real and I'm not talking about the creators. I'm not talking about like Chris Colin or Mike Fleiss or any of that. I'm not even talking about like the kind of legacy executive producers. The showrunners of these shows make a good amount of money too. But the people under them who are like handling all the players on a day-to-day basis, who are making the schedules, arranging who's going in the pods when, all that shit. The people who are getting the phone calls at 3 a.m. Oh, fuck, they're having a fight. You got to get to their apartment right now. The people who are doing that shit, they make a living, but they're only paid for the couple months that the show shoots.
Yeah.
And then you're not, you know what I mean? And so they, in most cases, these producers, like the real workaday producers on these shows, have to string seasons together or do multiple different shows. And you kind of don't, you hope you get called back, but you might not. No shit. You're always kind of like walking on eggshells and pins and needles, just like, am I going to have a job in the next 6 months? And those people, like, I feel for, and I kind of get why they might have that attitude, that kind of resentment for the thing that they're watching Netflix make billions of dollars off this. And it's like, they don't know if they're going to have a job in 6 months. So I kind of get that, but it's very antithetical to producing a good show. I think you really need people who love the thing you're making, and by extension, love the people who are helping you make that thing, which is the players.
Like Love is Blind France, I keep going back to, but I won't say what happened in the end, but you're rooting for a lot of the people. They're interesting characters. You're supporting them. It makes it just a way more fun show to watch when you're like, oh, and you feel like there's stakes to these relationships. In this, it's like there's opposite stakes. You're hoping they break up. Speaking of jobs that don't pay.
Oh, nice.
Our number 8 top takeaway from this season was Miss Welsh, Edmund's 5th grade teacher, who we heard about earlier in the season when he's talking about his PTCs and how he grew up. And we got to meet at the wedding. And she ended up playing not only the STCO for Edmund in his dumping, but walked him down the aisle and basically is like holding him together at the end of like, you're special. This isn't your only chance for love kind of thing.
She's one of the greatest familial players I think we've ever seen. I just really liked, of all the kind of stories they were trying to tell this season, that one really, I think, was the most for TRR, honestly.
Yeah, I think I cried.
Yeah, it was very heartwarming, and she just played a great game. Hats off to you. Moving on to our number 7 top 10 takeaway. Edmund himself as a new archetype. I don't think we've really seen a player like him. We are calling this the power energy body player. The PEB. Everything he did was driven by this kind of unbridled inner energy that caused him to jump over chairs, lay face down on a floor and make out with it, hide himself in a cabinet, rollerblading constantly.
Yes.
Everything he did was super high energy. There was a moment where he came out of a pod, I think, or maybe he was going into one, and he like jumped up and almost hit his head on the ceiling of the pod hallway. Just a frenetic kind of like constant in motion, constantly athletic play style that, to my knowledge, I don't think we've ever seen something quite like this.
I mean, we've seen like players who do good dances when they're getting out of the pods or things like that. I weirdly connect it to Hutta's play style in terms of like Hutta used every piece of the stage in Love Island, and I feel like Edmund does that with his physicality. Yeah, he has touched every square inch of that set, and it's hard to keep a camera on him. And I really enjoyed watching that part of his play style. Like some of my things I think I'll remember forever. Are him sucking the floor, kissing the floor, 100%. Which was my face play of the season. Oh, yeah. That Edmund sucking the floor was also my face play of the season. That was beautiful. I just have never seen anything like it. No. And I got to say about Edmund, like, say what you will about his kind of play style unrelated to the power energy body play style. His kind of emotional relationship play style wasn't great. But I do think he has a quality about him through the power energy body play that is a reality star. He's just in the wrong format of a show.
We were talking about this when we were doing Casa Gore, which, by the way, you can watch this reunion along with us in Casa Gore right now on our Patreon. If you put him in a Survivor, if you put him in a Big Brother, an Amazing Race, something like that, I think this guy pops off. Put him in fucking Beast Games. I'll watch that. Put him in fucking...
I don't want to watch Beast
Squid Games challenges.
I'll watch Survivor.
Any of those shows, I think like Survivor, he's probably made for it, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I don't see him losing many challenges if they're about physicality. I think he would have a hard time with the ones
puzzles?
where you have to calm down and like roll a ball along a little path or whatever. He might have some trouble with those. But like the ones where it's like, hold this fucking rope for 2 hours. He'd be swinging on the fucking rope. He'd be doing backflips on the rope, you know?
Kissing it, tonguing it.
Kissing the rope. He marries the rope at the end of Survivor season 51. Anyways, let's move on to our next top 10 takeaway, number 6. Joe's body shaming comments. This is something that in 2025 it can't be done in any of these games. This is not 2002 on Bachelor in the boob zone. We are in 2025 now. There's a camera in your face. And I know in the reunion, he said that it was taken out of context from a 5-minute conversation that they had about what types of people they dated prior to this experiment. But you don't commit these things to camera. This is one of the biggest errors. I mean, in fact, this was my error of the season. I just couldn't believe that he said it, especially after he has already seen the person that he's now engaged to. Yeah. And he's using it in context of describing her.
It's against the premise of the show.
Yes, 100%.
It was close up there with me for error of the season, but for me, Nick and Annie's anti-LGBTQ convo was my error of the season.
Yeah.
I think both are extremely hurtful.
Yeah.
Choices. And like, bear in mind, I also think Casey not continuing to date Patrick was a huge error. She lost out on a lot of screen time from that.
Well,
these were just like life ruiner combos.
Yeah. We were talking a little bit about this before we started recording. Like there are kind of two tiers of plays, if you will. Oh, hi. Hello. You can have plays that are kind of locked within the structure of like the actual game itself, you know, which is Casey dumping Patrick. I'm not saying she did it right. And the comment she made about not being attracted to him and shit, that was more of it leans more toward like a body shamey type conversation, you know, but dumping someone at any point in the context of the game is an admissible play. You can do it. And I think like in time, all will be forgiven. For a minute, the fans may be on the other person's side or your side or whatever, but a dumping is a dumping. An engagement is an engagement.
They forgave him with Chris Paul. They gave him the celebrity interaction.
You're right. Chris Paul forgives all.
Chris Paul blessing.
Yeah, that's what you need. Chris Paul has to come to solve any situation in your life. But like a dumping or self-elimination, all of these are kind of admissible plays within the standard mechanics of the game of Love is Blind. These other things are not, where you're just commenting like a body shamey thing or a homophobic thing or whatever. That is, it's more about like your persona now. You're not making a play in context of the relationship. You're making a play that kind of informs the audience about you as a person. Whether it's true or not, that's the effect of those plays. And I think the body shaming comments and the homophobic comments, like you're saying, that fucks their lives up. Yeah. That's not just about like, oh, this experience was bad and I got my heart broken. You're getting death threats and shit now, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of these people get death threats, but I think that up to the ante for all of them probably, and also contributed to the stagnant social media numbers that we saw from the season.
Yeah.
Speaking of other sad things, Our number 5 top takeaway from this season was the empty roadhouse where they shot the Pod Squad meetup. Usually for me, this is one of the episodes I look forward to the most. They delve into the love triangles and people apologize and stuff. And they chose this very, very bizarre setting for it, which was a gigantic country bar with a sad, sad mechanical bull in the middle of it. But to fill it with 15 people. So it just looked like, I don't even know what it looked like. Like we're watching kind of a play.
It was like a scene from Walking Dead. Like society has been wiped out and they wander into like, oh my God, it's this old weird bar. The mechanical bull still works. Let's have some fun. It was just so fucking strange. And again, this goes back to the producing of it. Who the fuck had this idea? That location was actually cool. Put some more people in it.
Yeah.
Get 50 people who like Love is Blind to come out. Oh my God, you can interact with some of the Love is Blind players. Why not? Instead, it's just this.
A similar bar for the night before my wedding, if you'll remember.
God, I'll never forget. What was it called? The cow chip?
Buffalo chip.
Buffalo chip. Holy shit. That bar was so wild. This is in Arizona. The thing that I remarked about
Cave
the most
Creek.
When we walked in was it was kind of like 50-50 filled with like your wedding party. I think there was a bachelor party, maybe, you know, so there's a bunch of like pink hats and wedding veils and pink cowboy boot type shit. Then there's like hardcore, legit Arizona cowboys who just got off a fucking cattle drive or some shit. And they're like having a beer with the boys. And those two worlds are meeting and sometimes dancing with each other on the fucking dance floor. That bar is wild.
It was
Highly
great.
recommend.
They had a real rodeo within it, which was part of it.
That too, yeah.
So there's like real cowboys and us cosplayers at the same time. But I didn't rent out the whole bar. It would have been weird, is my point for this.
I totally agree. That said, I must say that the saddest mechanical bull in the world was my creature of the season. I felt so bad for this poor bull, but I felt worse for us, the audience. It was just so strange. Like, and to have rented it out and like the first 2 people show up, you're the producer that day. And you're like, are we going to be able to fill this place out? The next 2 people show up. I don't know if this is going to work. Move to a new location. You can do it. It takes a little bit of work and maybe you got to shoot the next day or something. You can do it. It was just, it gave the whole, that moment, like you're saying, that's supposed to be a giant moment where they're all meeting for the first time and the love triangles are going to maybe pop off and this is going to happen, some fights and whatever. It just gave it this strange feeling that these people are in a little, I mean, this really did feel like an experiment. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it not in a good way. It felt like they were being manipulated to have these conversations in a giant empty hallway where you can hear their voices echoing off the wall and they're getting drunk. It just was so fucking weird. A big miss in my opinion.
And that's why the saddest mechanical bull in the world was also my creature of the season. Congratulations. Some tough competition with real life whales and the diabetes dinosaur.
Yeah. Those were both good creatures as well. But this bull, I felt, really carried the scene.
It kind of symbolized the whole season, too.
I agree. Just this robot in there spinning around one more time. That is what this season felt like
work.
To me.
Yeah,
exactly. Just turn it on. Press the fucking button. Shit it out. All right. Number 4 on our list, moving on, is drugs and alcohol. Does Anton have a drinking problem? Is Joe doing cocaine in Mexico? Now, there were 2 kind of like, the Anton one was bigger than the Joe one, but both of them certainly had plots happening around the idea that they drink too much, or maybe something else was going on with Joe in Mexico. We don't know. But at the very least, like, you're too drunk and you drink too much was a part of their relationships at one point. This is also happening in a show that notoriously does not have an alcohol limit. Like in Bachelor, you can only have 2 drinks, I believe, per night now. They kind of figured out how to do that.
Same with Love Island.
What's that?
Same with Love Island.
Yeah, Love Island has a minimum or a maximum. I don't think Love is Blind does. And so they ply you with as much of this shit as you want to drink, then they cut you to look like an idiot.
Yeah.
That is not that cool in my mind.
I am pro alcohol in reality shows.
Me too. Me too.
And you kind of convinced me with your line that was like, yeah, they should see what their partner is like at a real party.
Totally.
Like, yeah.
Yes, especially at that age. Like I'm now, of course, 29 years old and my drinking days are far behind me. But I do still, every once in a while, I will have enough medicine to be probably clinically insane. But the drinking and stuff, when you're in your 20s, early 30s, you're still out there. You're still fucking partying, hanging. You still have friends. I understand. Like, you do need to know that. Like, is this guy going to get fucking drunk and put his head through a wall? I need to know that.
Yeah, of course.
Let him black out.
Is he having morning mimosas every day? Or is it just like a special occasion morning mimosa?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an interesting kind of through line, and we kind of saw it in the Annie and Nick storyline as well. She was like, oh, I was too drunk in that conversation that leads into their breakup.
Yeah. My relationships when I was that age, like, I remember, this is probably TMI, but I don't care. It was funny. My girlfriend and I at the time went out, I think with our friends or somebody, to a bar the night prior. Just like both of us blacked out drunk.
Humble brag. Had a girlfriend.
Yeah. We go back to her place, stay the night there. The next morning, I'm just like in my underwear, like in my boxer shorts, out in her living room, just kind of like nursing a glass of water, trying to fucking get myself together. Knock, 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 knock. 5 people just come into their apartment. Her roommate, who they were like college buddies or whatever, had invited over all these people and they were going to go to brunch. And I was so fucking drunk and my head hurt so bad I didn't move. I just stayed on the couch in my boxer shorts and had like a 30-minute conversation with these people because I was so fucking hungover and still kind of drunk.
I'm picturing you as Joe in this scene.
Way worse.
You had a handlebar mustache.
Way worse. I probably at that time, I think I had a Van Dyke.
I mean, I'm sure there's some people who haven't, but
yeah.
Oh my God. The mistakes have been made.
But the difference is I was not on a reality television program.
Yeah.
I was just some drunk guy in their friend's living room. In his underwear.
Yeah, we highly recommend not blacking out.
I remember at one point kind of realizing like, what the fuck? And I think at one point I was like, well, I'm going to go put on a shirt now.
I hope that friend group like, still laughs about that.
What's that?
Today. I hope that friend group still laughs about it today.
God. Yeah, I haven't thought about it in a minute, but look, we've all been there. I remember waking up one night at like 2 a.m., in quotes, waking up, like coming to consciousness as I was standing over my own sock drawer, peeing in it because I was so drunk. Like, we've all been there.
We've all peed in every corner of our apartments.
Yeah. I remember one time I was in Mexico drunk and doing cocaine on a reality show. We've all been there.
We've all done all the things. I am so grateful that I have like survived some of the choices that I made in my earlier 20s.
Oh my God.
Particularly like just getting in Ubers. When I'm gone, so sleeping.
How innocent Ubers. They didn't have Ubers when I was coming up.
I know, it's horrible.
I know. Anyways, drugs and alcohol. That's number 4. Number 3.
You know we're in front of the paywall with this one.
Yeah, I know. Our number 3 top 10 takeaway is 2 main characters from the pods performed self-eliminations this season. We're talking about Blake and Anna, respectively. They were both front runners for other people that just disappeared themselves in the pods. And this goes back to what I'm talking about. People who come into the show for fame, I think, are of one of two varieties. There's the, I'm only here for fame, I'll do anything it takes to get to the next level. And the season looks like a dud. I don't think I'm going to get any numbers out of it. I'm out. And you can't have that. You can't have players being like, I'm out, especially people who are like the Patrick Anna story. I thought they were going to get engaged and
they gave him the big budget date where they had the fake campfire and shit.
Yes. It's mind-blowing that the producers can allow this to happen. And this is because of producing. Whether you can look at it from the perspective of they didn't set them up with somebody that locked in the right way that they thought they could engage or whatever. If you want to look at it from a 4TRR perspective, that's still the producer's fault. Or if you want to look at it from a 4TWR perspective, they didn't make this season enticing enough to have people want to stay. They thought it was better for them to leave the show than to continue on in the show. That's bad. And that's producing.
You never want that. And you didn't assuage their fears, for whatever reason that they're dipping out. I mean, we didn't even really get any of them explained to us. And they put Blake in the reunion, didn't ask him why he self-eliminated.
Yeah, just
what
weirdly
a
in
tease.
the end, he came in with his protein ice cream that he handed out to everybody.
Confusing. Our number 2 top takeaway from this season is, in part because of that, all the self-eliminations, we had no stars. We had low Instagram numbers for everyone. Only 2 players got over 100K on Instagram. That's Megan Sparkle and Jordan of Luca. And they are barely over 100K. They're at 112 and 110K respectively as of this recording, Thursday, October 30th. Yikes. Way worse than even the banal 4TRR Christmas couple from Minneapolis.
Yeah, they're both over 500K. A lot of people, I get this DM pretty frequently. It's just over now. The Instagram thing, the TikTok thing, it's just over now. Reality players can't get these numbers, blah, 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 blah. But that's obviously not true. Look at Huda. Look at Leia Kateb. I would say Taylor Frankie Paul, that doesn't quite line up because she got all of that before coming into a dating franchise. But I think Love Island is proof positive that people still want to engage on social media with their favorite players. I don't know how many players in those season 6 and 7 are over 1 million, but it's like 6 or 7, I think, from season 6 and maybe 5 or so from season 7 are over 1 million followers. We're not talking about 100,000 here, ladies and gentlemen. Once you're in the million tier, you're making a fuckload of money doing social media. It's possible. All you have to do is create a compelling piece of media that allows these players to really shine and show who they are. And that starts in casting. Obviously, you have to be able to have the eye for like, is this person a reality TV savant? Are they going to explode? Do they have the juice? You have to be able to recognize that. Then you also have to be able to present the juice properly. If you can't do that, then we don't see the juice, and then we don't get any Instagram followers. I would argue
you had some of the juice in Edmund.
I think so too. I think you did in Allie as well. She has a little bit of the juice. She's got like, a Vestal kind of vibe a little bit. They didn't present her properly.
They should have had her do a strip club investigation. That was still my missed. You know what they should have had her do?
They should have had him go to a strip club with that friend and her come out on stage.
Ooh, love that.
And then just fucking kick him in the face.
And she's got his mom in tow.
Yeah. Or do like a lap dance for the other guys all around him.
Yeah.
How do you like this,
feeding
motherfucker?
Him croissants.
Yeah, you go in the corner and eat your croissant. Watch this. They did not present her properly, or him for that matter, because if you remember in the beginning of the season, they are the first couple to get engaged at the end of episode 1. They are then disappeared for the next 3 episodes in the pods. So that screen time that she could have been given to start elevating her story, letting us get to know her, is gone. And not only is the screen time gone, we're now given screen time of these other couples who have people that self-eliminate, that don't even go to the honeymoon round. This is terrible producing. It's a misunderstanding of what makes these shows good and why we lock into them is because we're following our favorite players. And if you don't allow one of the couples that's going to make it to the fucking altar to have any screen time, why would we follow them or want the best for them or anything like that? I know nothing about why Allie and Anton were together. I know nothing about it.
Traditional values.
Sure. Okay. It's bad, you know? And it's like, I think this is part of what we were talking about earlier too, where they start to have contempt for the players a little bit. Mm-hmm. Right next to the contempt is apathy. They don't give a shit. It's like, well, they got engaged. We'll wrap that narrative up in episode 1. We'll revisit it when they come to the honeymoons. What? I'm watching a TV show. If you don't have your main character in every episode, they're not the main character. And then who am I watching? What am I, whose journey am I on? Who do I give a shit about? They just don't get it.
Yeah. And that shortening of it also makes it seem, it makes both of them look worse, like they are 100%. Doing this over 2 days as opposed to 10.
Yes. And I think, like, for what it's worth, we've discussed this in Casa Gore a couple of times. For those who don't know, Love is Blind, this is the first 10 days of that show, are all pods. Everybody goes through those 10 days. Day 10 is the engagement day. Everyone proposes on day 10. Why they cut it into this weird temporal mismatch that's out of order, and it made it seem like Anton and Allie proposed on the second date, but it was on day 10, just like everybody else. Why they don't present those 10 days in like a 4 episode, very regimented, like day 1, show me the lists. Who's number 1, 2, 3.
They even talked about the list at the reunion to justify why Joe and Casey would have gotten together. Were you on each other's list? Show us the list. 3. They don't want to give us that look behind the camera, I think.
But that is an antiquated idea of what this is. We fucking understand it. There's a million podcasts about this shit now with these players talking about this. If you are a fan of this shit, you have heard somebody talk about the 10-day period in the pods. You have heard it. You know that's how it's structured. You have a narrative structure already in the way you're producing the show. Just show us that. It's very simple. They like are bending over backwards, breaking their backs to try and trick us into thinking that doesn't exist.
It's not 10 days. It's a normal amount of time to be getting to know each other.
But it's like that 10-day period is interesting because in it inherently there's a ticking clock. That's like, are you going to fucking propose by 10 days? Who's your number 1? Who's your number 2? It inherently, narratively is satisfying. They just don't present it that way for some fucking reason. I don't get it.
Even Nick being like, bring back Annie would have been interesting. You know, like we had no idea any of that went on.
Yeah.
And the number 1 top takeaway from this season that I think we will remember it for: history is made. We had not a single marriage or lasting couple from this season, and only 3 couples even made it to the altar to say, I don't.
Yeah, pretty wild. You know, I know Love is Blind likes to tout itself as like, we're the one who makes real relationships, because they have done that pretty much every season. You know, the experiment. Is this a viable way to find somebody? How much of it is self-fulfilling prophecy? You saw Megan Sparkle doing a lot of that this season. I feel like it's fated. My dad had diabetes. Your kid has diabetes. It's my dad saying I should be with you. You know, all the stuff. You kind of justify whatever you need to. But the bottom line is, all of these seasons have produced marriages. I believe they all still have at least one that's together. Or is that one? What about the one that with Milton?
There have been ones where all the marriages have fallen apart, sure. But,
okay.
Or couples have knocked it down, like the one that had the baby, the guy with the sword.
Oh, Blake or Zach Wojtowski and Bliss Porizati.
We got Body of a Dancer. We got, I mean, there's so many.
That was the British one, wasn't it?
Oh, was it?
I think
there's so many couples still together. And I wanted to say that with the Chris Paul thing. why not bring back some of these heavy hitters from previous seasons to be doing any of this stuff? Why is Chris Paul there?
Yes. I feel like this season was a write-off, honestly. I feel like all the other players watched this season and they were like, I'm not going to come to that reunion. Fuck you. But the bottom line is, when you say this is an experiment, which is a lie, this is no experiment. Where's the control group? Where's the peer-tested or the peer-reviewed examinations of this data that you supposedly are collecting? What is the hypothesis here? That you...
People can find love without looking at a person or touching them.
Right. I just, it's absurd to me that they keep saying it's an experiment, but let's go with them on that. So this season, the experiment failed 100%. And there's no mention of that. They didn't say anything about that in the reunion.
No. I wonder if we'll get for the next one they shoot, they'll go in the other direction. They'll try to get all fundamentalist Christians or something to be we're making these marriages happen.
Sure. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they will. This is just what I glean through the TV screen in terms of what the higher ups think of this show. I'm talking about Netflix executives who are in charge of do we order another season again or not? I think they think, who cares? Yeah. One season where nobody got married. It was bound to happen. It was this season. Keep pressing the button. Keep that mechanical bull spinning. Yeah. Exactly. People still watched it in enough numbers that they don't really care. I don't think this season was as big as other prior seasons, obviously, but they don't really care. There's a price tag on the production of each of these seasons that's very low. They get huge viewership from it. That's all they give a fuck about. And this is part of any show that's like this, where you have season after season after season. Bachelor definitely suffers from this. And that's why we are kind of where we are now with that franchise. It's if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just keep fucking doing the same thing.
Churn.
And don't stop to think about how could we make this better? Why did this bad thing happen? How can we assure that never does happen again? What is the real value of this show? Why do people like it? And how can we exaggerate those things they like? How can we make those things even better so that we really have a devoted fandom of this? And I think, for my money, the format of Love is Blind is fucking really good. That pod thing of there's these two people, they don't know what each other looks like. Holy shit. Now they got to see each other for the first time. And maybe they had a triangle. Now they get to see that person. There's so many little elements of the format that are just, you don't get it in any other show. And it's so fucking good.
I still feel so tense when they do the reveals.
Absolutely. That watching the body language when they first see each other is one of my greatest pleasures in life. It's like a fine wine. I could just watch that shit forever. But to not scrutinize what you're doing and say, how can we make this better? How can we assure that this show is a legacy show that lasts for decades and decades like Bachelor? No one's doing that. That's very clear. And I just think that the show would be so much better if they really could sit down and take a look at what has this show been? And strangely, I feel like the people who would probably be best for that are people like us and other podcasts who have watched every season and really scrutinized it almost frame by frame to say what is working, what is not. I'd be happy to produce the next season of Love is Blind.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll do it.
I'm available. Let me know.
I have lots of good ideas. I mean, the legacy thing, I think, is a huge part of it. Yeah. You could have the other couples with babies telling Meghan Sparkle how to raise her baby and how to deal with the negative press and all this shit.
How about have one of those old couples host the fucking first mixer where they all meet each other for the first time instead of the mechanical bull thing? Have it at Bliss and Zach's house. That would be fucking great.
There's just swords everywhere.
He gives every guy a commemorative sword when they come in. All the dudes are wearing swords on a belt. Yeah. Okay, everybody in the backyard now. It's time for the sword fight. Anton gets stabbed.
Oh, God. No, I mean, and it's like partially because we've seen what has happened with Bachelor. It's like, we know what the descent is like.
Yeah, and we're in it. We're right now, Bachelor, like I know Taylor Frankie Paul, we all have high hopes for her season. And I do think she'll deliver. I've just seen too much of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives now that I'm like, there's no way she's going to be bad. And even if all the guys are fucking bad, I'm going to love that because she's going to kick the shit out of them. I can't wait.
Like watching her kick the shit out of 25 guys will be so nice.
But now what you run into with her season is we're really going to see where the rubber meets the road. It's reality star talent versus ABC executive ineptitude. Which one is going to be more influential on that season?
I know.
They moved it to Sundays. It's not premiering until the end of March. Is that going to be more important than Taylor Frankie Paul? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is there. I think she will generate some big moments for us, like probably on the order of a Mamacita type moment. I think we're going to get some big memeable, like pop culture influential kind of things from her. But does that matter in terms of ratings? Because that's all that matters to ABC. It's who's watching it on Sunday night at 8 p.m. If that number is low, the season will be considered a failure. And that's really kind of out of her hands because they program it so strangely.
I'm not feeling that confident after the TikTok. The like dated TikTok trend telling us it's going to be on Sundays.
Somebody DM'd me and said that TikTok trend is now making a resurgence. But it's like a nostalgic something.
Oh, shit. Okay. Well, then never mind. I feel fully on board.
Yeah, me too.
Sundays it is. The Lord's Day. We shall pray.
But no, to your point, like we're at this point with the Bachelor franchise because of mismanagement at every level. Like that was mismanaged at the executive network level, also at the creative level of the showrunners for the past 2 or 3 years. We'll see what Scott Teddy can do with it. I have mixed feelings about that based on his first season, Bachelor in Paradise season 10. But we're in this place with Bachelor because of all the things that we just talked about in Love is Blind. They don't have the backs of their leads. They throw people under the bus. They have contempt for their leads. The whole show has been, at least up to Scott Teddy, and I don't know what his kind of ethos is on all of this, but prior to him, Claire Freeland and Bennett Graebner, their ethos was fuck these players, wreck them. That's what makes good TV. Get Jen Tran out there, make her watch The Proposal to Devin Strader, make her do it. That was Claire Freeland, literally made that specific decision. That was kind of the final nail in the coffin after a few years of just like swirling the drain. And I don't want to see that happen to Love is Blind, you know, because I do like this show a lot. It has given me some of my favorite moments in reality dating TV history. I'll never forget Jess Vestal. You will choke. I mean, fucking brilliant.
You know, I don't know. I want to say the format is so strong, it'll be okay. But Bachelor's format is strong too. Yeah. We shall see. Time will tell. Who was your MVP of the season?
Did we do all of our awards already? Face play.
I got mine.
Play, error. Yep. Okay. I guess I got to do it like this. Megan Sparkle was my MVP. She came away with the most Instagram followers. She had the baby outside of the show. I just felt like in a season that didn't have a main character, she was the closest thing to it.
I agree. And while Jordan, I think, also came across pretty clean, he did not have a baby to present at the reunion. And therefore, Megan Sparkles was my MVP.
Gotta have the baby presentation.
There's something for TRR about a baby, even if it doesn't come from within game.
I completely agree. It means that you were ready for the process. I would say
Yes.
Becca Martinez kind of did this in Bachelor when she got kicked out of Ari's season and then within a year was like, I have kids now. I told you I was fucking ready for this bullshit.
Age is just a number.
Yeah, it's a validation kind of for why you went into the show in the first place. And she scooped Jordan on showing the child, showing the progeny. We're never going to get to see Luca.
Got more screen time than Luke.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Brooks is a bigger star than Luca. So,
oh my God.
Hats off to you, Sparkle. But that's it. That wraps up our top 10 takeaways and reunion recap for Love is Blind season 9. I can't believe another one's in the books. We will be covering season 10. I'm guessing it's going to air in February like it always does.
Do you know what city it is?
What is the next goddamn city? I want to say, is it Boston?
The official look, according to the AI overview, the official location has not been announced, but speculation suggests Boston or Columbus based on recent casting notices.
Oh, right. Those were the 2 seasons that they shot together, I believe. Boston and Columbus, Ohio. So I don't know which one they're going to air first. One will air 6 months after shooting, and then one will air a year and a half after shooting. That's another big problem this franchise has that we could, talk about for another hour, probably.
Well, Taylor Frankie Paul is going to have that same problem.
Yeah.
They're going to be airing it long after they've shot it.
There is, in my opinion, no way that her season will not be completely spoiled.
Yeah, of course. I think she will do it.
You think
she will spoil it?
Oh, shit. I would love that.
I mean, she flies, beat of her own drum.
God.
That kind of thing. That is her style.
I'm envisioning that contract, I believe. I don't know what the number is now, but at some point, the number for if you spoil your season was $1 million that they would penalize you. Can you imagine if she is like, fuck it, I'm tired of waiting. He's my husband now. And they make a joint TikTok and then she just fucking peels off $1 million to ABC. Go fuck yourself.
Well, I don't think they would sue her. I mean, KB did it. They didn't sue her.
That was accidental, though. I'm saying doing on purpose TikTok reveal of your ring winner.
If any lead was to do it, I would guess TFP would.
Yeah, I agree.
But very much looking forward to that season.
Yeah, me too.
And we will have our Golden Bachelor finale episode out in a few days. Right?
No.
Yes. No.
Fantasy Suites.
Fantasy Suites. Next. Oh, right.
Then the finale. This Golden Bachelor season is so fucking weird and discombobulated too. It's like, wait a minute, but there's only 2 players left, but now we have to do Fantasy Suites and then no roses. And then they both go to the finals also.
Well, let's see how Mello holds up. He's one of those power energy body players.
Oh my God. He's like a what did Jared Freed call him? Tommy Bahama
Frankenstein.
Yeah.
If you choose to forego your individual room, you can use this key to stay in the fantasy coffin.
All right. That concludes.
Anyway, that'll be out
recap. Soon. Thank you for joining us. We will be back soon with a bunch of other stuff. I think we've got a Digging Deeper coming up as well.
Yeah.
Next Monday.
Praise be Dark Lords Lachey.
Please rate this podcast. Please review this podcast. Please get a friend to listen to us, and then please rate this podcast. Please review this podcast.